Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Cage. I'm your host, Jim Graham, and joining me today on the line, we have a special guest. He will be fighting Damian Maia. It will be the featured prelim fight on Fox Sports 1 for UFC 198. He is the immortal Matt Brown. And Matt, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, brother.
First thing I wanted to ask you, despite your long tenure in the UFC, you have never fought for the organization in Brazil before. So are you excited, worried, or nervous or anything like that to be fighting down in Brazil for the first time?
It's nothing. It's the same thing no matter what. It's a longer flight is all it is to me. So, it was a very long flight. But outside of that, it's the same thing. I'm in a hotel. I have to cut weight, make weight, and then go fight at the arena. So there's only two places that I go for the whole week, and it's a hotel and arena. So same thing for me.
Now, of course, speaking of weight, weigh-ins are just in a few days. So is everything on track for you to make 170 once again?
Everything is perfectly on track. This is probably one of the best I've ever felt at this point. One of the best camps I've ever had. I feel great. I'm very happy. So I can't ask anything more than that.
Now, of course, for a lot of your career, you have trained right at home in Ohio. But I know for this camp, you've done some training out there at Team Elevation in Denver, Colorado. And how has been training there at Team Elevation for this camp then for you?
Again, man, this is I think it is one of the best camps I've ever had. I had a lot of training partners every day, had good coaches around me, positive people. My family's happy. My wife loves the city out there. So, I just don't think I could ask for anything more than where I'm at right now. I think I'm in the best place I've ever been. I miss Ohio. I love Ohio. But here I am, and this is what I have, and I'm very, very happy. And so no matter what happens Saturday, I can wake up Sunday and be happy, and that's what's important.
Now, of course, with training in Denver comes training at altitude. The higher elevation helps a lot of athletes. One of the appeal to training in a city like that. So come fight night, do you feel as though your conditioning will have kind of an extra boost with doing all this training at elevation?
Yeah, that was one of the factors of moving out there. That had something to do with the decision to move out there. That it was just a little piece. But I have great cardio anyway all the time. I always train really hard. I work harder than anybody else in the gym. Even when I lived in Ohio, I had better cardio than everybody. Now living in Denver, my cardio is just going to get that extra 1%, 2%, whatever boost, and of course that's great. So I think in this fight, I'm gonna, my cardio is going to be better than Damian's could ever imagine his to be. So that's a good strong point for me, and hopefully it comes into play in this fight, and I can impose that on Damian.
Now, looking at your opponent in Damian Maia, of course, world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. He really put that on display in his last fight and defeating Gunnar Nelson. Looking at your skill set against his, what areas do you think you'll have to avoid against him to be successful?
Well, yeah, you said it right there. I mean, his game is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There's nothing else that he can beat me with. That's his only chance, and that's not even a big chance right there. That's just one thing. He has there's a lot of aspects to this game. I'm better at him at every aspect except pure Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, except only Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he has to find a way to take everything else away from me and impose that Jiu-Jitsu on me. All I have to do is take one thing away from him. So I think it's to my advantage.
Your fight, of course, will be the featured prelim for Fox Sports 1 as part of the undercard for UFC 198. And with the recent vacancy left by Anderson Silva dropping out of his fight against Uriah Hall, would you have been placed on the pay-per-view card, or do you like where you're at as the Fox Sports 1 headliner?
I probably get more exposure as the headliner on Fox Sports 1 because of the, more people are going to watch it free than people are going to watch a pay-per-view where they have to pay. So, there's more viewership, so that's a positive. But, in the end, it's me and Damian Maia stepping in a cage, and whoever watches, whoever doesn't. And, I have to deal with Damian Maia, not the viewership. That's not my intent here. My intent is to beat Damian Maia no matter who the hell's watching.
Now, your last fight was back in July of last year. Of course, now it's May of 2016. So does it feel good to finally, have a fight on the books and getting ready to step back in the octagon?
Man, I've been chopping at the bit for the past 10 months, man. It's been really crazy. I had to go through a surgery, and I went through a whole training camp and got injured and had to go through surgery, and man, I just been chomping at the bit and sitting here getting anxious and restless, and now the time is here. So I hope to have a good active 2016 and and get that title this year. That's what I'm working towards, and I just want to win all my fights this year, and so I'm happy to be back in there. That's all it comes down to. I'm just happy to be there, man.
Wanted to get your thoughts, of course, in the main event is another fellow Ohio native in Stipe Miocic as he takes on Fabricio Verdum for the heavyweight title. What do you think about Stipe's chances of possibly winning the title and bringing that back to Ohio?
Oh, he has a great chance for sure. Man, Verdum is a very, very tough fighter, but so Stipe. So yeah, it's gonna be a great fight, man. I think I can see this fight going either way, but I think I think that Stipe has advantages in the major areas where this fight will probably play out, because that would be the stand-up and the wrestling. I don't think Verdum's going to be able to take him down, and I think in the stand-up, Stipe has the advantage. So when you put those things together, I think Stipe is going to pull this off, and I think he's going to bring that belt back to Ohio, and he's going to be the victor. So, maybe definitely a little bit biased. I like Stipe; he's a friend of mine, but that's how we roll in Ohio, man. That's what we do. We cheer for our boys, and Stipe is going to bring that belt back to Cleveland, Ohio. I'm going to bring the belt back to Columbus, Ohio.
Once again, he is Matt Brown, the Immortal, who can catch his fight against Damian Maia on Fox Sports 1 Saturday, May 14th. And Matt, thanks again for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. I look forward to your fight against Damian Maia come May 14th.
Thanks for having me, sir.
Once again, that was Matt Brown right here on Beyond the Cage.